Hi friends, I'm David Lopez from the House of Bumble Collective, and welcome to Bumble and Bumble Education. Today we're going to be walking through the round brush blow dry. It's one of our most timeless and transformative techniques, and I know you're really going to love it. For this blow dry, we're going to be creating volume at the crown, smoothness and polish through the mid-lengths, and then movement at the ends. Also today, I'm gonna be wearing a POV camera, so you're gonna be able to see what I'm doing from my perspective as I'm doing it. This look is wearable, it's timeless, it's editorial. It's a look that is always done, but never overdone. At Bumble and Bumble, the products that we pick don't just protect the hair, they also help shape the finish. They can really make or break the style. For moisture and heat protection, I'm gonna use the Bumble and Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil Primer. I'm gonna really focus this on the ends. If you really feel like you have a client that has fine hair and you don't wanna weigh the hair down at all, I like to spray it directly into my hands and then squeeze it through the ends and apply to any areas that might need a little bit of extra heat protection, usually around the face framing layers and in the crown. Next, for some volume, I'm gonna spray the Bumble and Bumble Thickening Spray, mainly at the roots and in the mid-lengths, any area that I feel like I wanna build in that volume. Don't worry about layering on too much. It's very, very lightweight. It's not gonna be stiff or sticky. And for me, it's one of the secrets of getting that really volumized blowout. Now, I want a little bit more moisture and a little bit more polish, so I'm gonna reach for the Bumble and Bumble Grooming Cream. Just a small amount, about a dime size in the palm of my hand. Really emulsify it as well. And I like to lightly scrunch it into the ends and the mid-lengths, any areas where I feel like the hair just needs a little bit of support on the polished side. Once you've applied the products, we're gonna use a wide tooth comb and very gently comb it through the hair to make sure it's evenly distributed. At this point, I also really like to encourage the roots to lift up and away off of the scalp to help start building in that volume that we're looking for. I'm gonna divide the head into 5 sections. It'll be a center mohawk, the right side from the temple to just behind the ear, the left side from the temple just to behind the ear, and then in the back here, we have this triangular section at the crown to make sure that we get even more volume and lift right here, especially since a lot of people tend to split right at the crown area. An easy way to figure out where to start your blow dry is to start where the hair is the most dense. In this instance, it's right here in the back. Starting at the nape, I'm gonna create a horizontal section from side to side that's about the width of the brush that I'm going to use. Place your brush underneath the section that you're working on, lift up, and then follow that section with your nozzle and your dryer as you start to polish and smooth out the hair. Once you're finished with this section that you're working on, you're going to gently unroll it and let it cool down in that shape that you just formed. Keep the airflow pointed in the direction of the round brush to seal the cuticle and prevent frizz. Use light tension. Use rhythm. Roll the brush through to the ends. That's how you create shine and control before you even reach the crown. This isn't just a blow dry, it's a build. Heat, air, direction. Every motion has purpose. Every section, a design. What's really important to remember that as you're working on each section, you want to make sure that you roll through to the ends. We have tension and rhythm happening here. We have a good amount of tension, but it's not too taut, not too tight. And then when we get to the ends and we're doing this rolling motion, this is the rhythm. This right here, when you see me doing this is the rhythm that you want to get into to make sure that you get an even amount of polish and movement in that section. Now the crown, the lift zone. The goal here is elevation and direction, not tease, not fluff. Volume that looks like natural lift, not product buildup. It's about intentional volume, smooth texture, and controlled movement. This is how we build volume without frizz, polish without stiffness, and that effortless BB bounce that moves like it's alive. Now, when I get to the sides, I know that I want to build a lot of volume and lift here. Now, it feels a little bit awkward, I think, to stand on the side and lift your arms up like this. So what I like to do is change my body positioning to stand a little bit in front of the client so I'm able to get a maximum amount of volume with my brush and my dryer and completely over direct the opposite way to make sure that I'm getting a lot of lift, a good amount of tension, and also able to then go back and use that rhythm to roll the ends. And I also like to make sure that I angle a little bit towards the face so that when this falls and I push it back, I get really beautiful movement in the ends. When I'm working with haircuts that have a lot of face framing layers, sometimes as you're working, you notice that these micro sections will jump out at you. And because I want to work with intentionality, when I notice that, I will go ahead and let that section drop out because it's really important that you maintain control of each section that you're working on. So I let these shorter face framing layers fall out on their own, and I'll revisit them on their own to make sure that they get intentional smoothing the entire time. I like to divide my section that I'm working on into 3 zones. We want to make sure that we get the roots lifted or polished depending on the texture of the hair. Then we move on to the mid-lengths and then the ends. What I like to do when I'm focusing on the roots and I'm looking for volume, I'm gonna make sure that before I move on to the mid-lengths and the ends, that I have exactly what I need from the roots. In this case, I want lift. I make sure to keep that section lifting straight up as I dry those roots. And when I feel like I have the volume that I'm looking for, I'll then change my elevation and come back down. And now I'm gonna start focusing on polishing and shaping the mid-lengths and the ends to get that movement that I'm looking for. In the mohawk, we take horizontal sections and over direct them forward. As an option, you can use Velcro rollers or clips to set. Now that the hair is dry and set, I'm gonna use a wide tooth comb to lightly get through all the sections and marry them together. Because I'm still encouraging volume, I'm making sure that as I'm combing through all the sections, I'm going back and up. To enhance the shine and the movement, depending on the hair, I can either reach for the Bumble & Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil or the Bumble & Bumble Brilliantine. For this look, I'm gonna use the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil. I make sure to emulsify just a couple drops in my hand, and then I start in the mid-lengths and the ends. Again, depending on the hair, wherever you see it might need a little more movement, maybe a little more shine and moisture. For me, the ends, I want that pieciness and that separation. I want that extra bit of polish here. So here you have it, the Bumble & Bumble Round Brush Blow Dry. It's polished, it's smooth, it has movement. We have lift at the crown, softness at the ends, and shine that moves with the light. Thank you for joining me, David Lopez from the House of Bumble Collective on this education tutorial. And if you want to continue your education journey with Bumble & Bumble, make sure that you follow @Bumblepro on social media for more videos, looks, and tutorials. I'll see you soon in the salon, the classroom, or backstage.